Okay, we are recording. We're not in Kansas anymore, as you can tell. Americans will know what that means. This is obviously the Taj Mahal. I'm not in Nepal anymore. Finished my trip. This will be probably the last of the Johnny Private Adventures of Johnny Private YouTube videos. So thank you very much for watching. I think it's crazy. I got so many hits on this. Just some dude going for a crazy trek. So a couple of reflections about the trip. I'll stick to my original ideas that that trek is not for normal people. No way, no way, no. And only caveat is I did not go directly to base camp and back. I did something way crazier than that. It was a 3 passes trek, and I did it in 13 days. So if you look online, you'll see that usually that's like a 17-day trek. But I told the guide I was in good shape. I thought I was in good shape, but yeah, not so much. Everest has a way of humbling everybody. So a couple things. Let's see, equipment, preparation, things like that. I think I prepared pretty well. One thing I didn't probably need was the solar panels. You don't really need that. There was electric everywhere, just not that available, and you had to pay for it. But it was okay. It's kind of like a neutral thing. Solar panels. Huge sleeping bag. You saw my sleeping bag. I brought a 0 Fahrenheit sleeping bag, which was great. And it was definitely the thing I looked forward to the most at the end of the day. Climbing into that, I knew I'd be nice and warm. The Sherpas did not have that. Each of the places have blankets that are like, each one weighs probably 20 pounds. So you don't actually need a 0 degree Fahrenheit bag, but I'm glad I had it. I mean, you saw how big it was, so just give it to the Sherpas to carry. Poles, don't even think about it without poles. So many times I would have tumbled over the edge without poles. They provide, when you're stepping down off a rock, they provide some, you put the poles down first and then you step, so it provides some comfort, eases the stress on your knee. If you've got bad knees, you really need those poles, plus the balance. So many times I would have fallen for sure without the poles, so definitely bring poles. As far as hiking there, again, I would love to, for sure, but don't even think about it without a guide. If you go past Namche without a guide, I think you're crazy, honestly, especially in December, November, December. We ran into this group of 5 Nepalese guys, locals, well, from Kathmandu, and they almost died out there. Do you remember the video of me climbing over that huge mountain glacier pass called Chola Pass? They got lost after that, and they actually ended up spending the night out on the glacier. So, and those are local guys, and they're a bunch of 25-year-old guys. And the only reason they survived, I remember, it was 4 degrees that night Fahrenheit. Only reason they survived was because one of them was a smoker. So here's a case where smoking saved your life instead of shortened it. But they pulled out extra clothes that they didn't use, and they set it on fire on the ice, and that's the only way they made it through the night. So beyond Namche without a guide, crazy. I mean, lots of people do it, but crazy. What else did I want to cover? I'm sure I'm forgetting lots of things here, but I would say if you're going to do it, if you go to Namche, or Namche and back is fine, don't need a guide. If you go much beyond that, it gets hard. It gets really hard and brutal cold. But don't forget the last couple of videos coming down the Gokyo area. It was very nice and relaxing, and the air was getting thicker and the scenery better. Definitely better than the Everest region. So, yeah, that's kind of the main things. Oh, let me tell you about the number 13. A lot of those mountain passes, if I could climb 13 steps of any size, 2-inch steps or 1-inch step, or if I could move my feet 13 times in a row without stopping and being out of breath and tired, that was the goal. That was my goal. Sometimes I couldn't do it. And I can run 7 miles at sea level. So, think about that. Everest doesn't respect your preparation or how healthy you think you are or how fit you think you are. Everest has a way of humbling people like probably few places on Earth do. So once you're at 18,000 feet, man, it's just all bets are off. However, if I didn't do that, I'm sure I would not have made it. I'm sure, no chance. I almost didn't make it anyway, right? So definitely, if you do the 3 passes, takes 16 days or more. Just it's a little more fun. It's a little less like Navy SEAL training, a little more like a vacation. Yeah, so that was it. But again, I'll come back to the fact that it is not a trip for normal people. I'll come back to that because it's way too harsh. I lived in Alaska for a long time, as you probably guessed, and you know, a lot of times the toilets are frozen at night, the water is frozen at night. You can't brush your teeth unless you go want to wash your hands. You punch through the water in the bowl, break the ice, then you can wash your teeth, wash your hands or whatever with ice water. So yeah, so think about that. And you can't really escape the cold at night. You know, Alaska, you have heat in the houses, obviously, so it's a little bit different, but it's grueling. It's grueling. Now, having said that, I wouldn't change anything. I honestly wouldn't have changed anything. I mean, it was way harder than I thought, but fantastic trip. Fantastic trip. My guides, NimaSherpaBoy at gmail.com, I think it is, but check the website. He's incredible. Definitely recommend him. He's crazy, he's fun, and very, very talented, and he really knows what he's doing. And he never did get out of breath. Even the highest mountain passes, he never did get out of breath. So I do have one more video I have not posted yet. It's a little bit emotional. I'm kind of embarrassed, but I was just falling apart when I finally got to base camp after 8 years of planning. It was a lot, you know, that was definitely the high point. I didn't post it yet because geographically it's in the middle of the trip, but it's kind of the high point. Undoubtedly the high point. Getting to base camp, nothing like it. Nothing like it. So, yeah. So, my family's calling me. I'm in India now, so I'm going to get going in a little bit. Last thing I wanted to thank everybody. Thank you so much. It was fun to take you with me. It was a blast taking you with me on my trip. It was kind of fun to think that all my friends were kind of following along, and all these cuts were, I mean, there's no editing at all. It was just straight up video, just like this one. Not scripted, straight up, you know, heavy breathing, and I'm like having a fit and all them. So that was as real as it gets. No polishing or post video editing or anything like that. So yeah, so that was that. So thank you to my Palmer friends for helping me hike. I never would have made it for sure without all those trips up and down the mountains to practice. For my family for encouraging my crazy adventures and sticking by me and supporting me and all that. My older brothers for encouraging me to hike from an early age, Breakneck Ridge and all the other places that we used to go since I was like 5 years old, and this was 10x the hardest thing I've ever done, but it was a blast. And lastly, to my students, you know, we have a saying in the band that nothing's impossible, right? We eat impossible for breakfast. So nothing's impossible, not even a Fife concert on Mount Everest. And we did that. So, all right, I will sign off. Probably for the last time. There might be one more video too if I find anything really interesting I missed. So I will see you later. This is Alaska Man Johnny Private signing off.